Welcome to this video course, Hands-on Python Regular Expressions. What we learn in this course, we learn the ins and outs of regular expressions. We learn the basics, pattern matching, and then we'll see how we can use the functions available in Python to deal with regular expressions. Along the way, we'll build Flask web application, which is a user registration form. And as we progress with this application, we'll explore our understanding of regular expressions. I currently work as a full stack web developer. I have more than 5 years experience in Python and more than 10 years experience in JavaScript. I absolutely love web development and I love the ecosystem which Python and various other languages like React give us. I'm also a Linux geek. I've been using Linux since 2001 and I absolutely love doing DevOps work. And Python is a great language for helping programmers do DevOps related automation work. So let's have a quick overview of the course. There are 5 sections. In section 1, an introduction to regular expressions. The course assumes that you have some knowledge in programming and a little bit in Python. But if you don't know regular expressions, that's not a problem. The section 1 will aim to introduce you to the concept of regular expressions. We'll also set up your dev box. We assume you're using either Windows, Mac OS or Linux, and we'll show you how to install Python. You also need to install a code editor. We suggest Visual Studio Code. And then we look at some theory behind regular expressions. We look at pattern matching, the various algorithms used in pattern matching. We'll also look at the code for a very simple linear pattern searching algorithm. Section 2, Python and Flask web app. In section 2, we'll have a quick overview of Python. So even if you're not familiar with Python, that's great. This section will certainly help you. We look at the data types, which Python provides us. We look at how to use the REPL, the read, eval, print loop. We learn how to use functions, how to create functions. We'll also take a look at Flask, which is a micro web framework. It's very easy to use. The simplest of web app framework can be just around 10 to 12 lines. So we'll set up Flask, we'll see how to install Flask, and we'll set up Flask for a very basic web application skeleton. Then we'll move on to our user registration application, our hands-on application. We'll create the basic skeleton, the basic CSS also, and we'll make sure the form submission works. We'll have a few fields like email and password. Once that is ready, in the further sections, we will then start using regexes for data validation and for capturing data. Section 3 will be all about data validation. We'll learn about the basic meta characters or special characters which create a regular expression. A regular expression is just a string. It is the meta characters which give special meaning to it. We learn about character classes, dots, anchors, word boundaries, and we'll then use this knowledge to create a regular expression for validating the email and the password in our hands-on user registration app. In section 4, we learn about capturing data. Regexes are not only used for data validation, but we can also capture relevant data from our input string. We learn about matching, grouping, and we learn about the match object, which is returned after an re.search or an re.match call. The match object contains a lot of useful information. We learn about the regex flags, using which we can specify additional options to the regex engine. We'll also learn about some handy things like back references and lookarounds. In section 5, we learn advanced regexes. We can see that we can use regexes to split strings as well as to replace parts of a string. We learn how to deal with Unicode. And we'll also see how we can comment our regexes. That's great because that helps you as well as your fellow developers. As you can see, regexes get quite cryptic in nature and commenting it is a very good habit. There's also a wonderful online utility which we will explore, and that utility allows us to debug our regexes, and I highly recommend it. The course assumes that you have a basic knowledge of Python. Even if you don't, that's okay. In section 1, we will have a brief overview of Python, and you have all the code with you. You can easily learn. You need a PC with either Windows, Mac or Linux, and Python 3 installation, and all this will be covered in the course. And you need to install Visual Studio Code, which is a great code editor, and you need to use a browser so that we can view our user registration app.